This Choircast podcast is brought to you by my book, Inking Christ, a theological approach to tattoos. This book has everything you could ask for. It even has pictures. But what it does, and hopefully you as the reader will find out, is that it opens a new world for us to see how Christ can act within culture immediately and without reservation. So I hope you check it out. Thanks.
Hey, heathens. You're listening to the Deadly Faith podcast where religion and crime collide. I'm Lola.
And I'm Lacey.
And this shit is dishonorable.
The mind that was in Jesus, that mind is in me.
Without me, life has no meaning.
Why would God tell you what I'm thinking and tell you what I've said to my wife or my husband when you're not around? It's because I'm the pastor of the church and I need to know.
This is the only place where you can see truth.
Ooh. I don't think we've ever used that word before.
Well, this fits.
This fits.
I hate that it's called the honor killing, but like,
yeah,
that it's not what it sounds like. It's not what it sounds like at all.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea what we're about to talk about, so I'm very excited. But for some levity before we get started, I have to tell you guys. So you guys know I record in my basement, and I'm pretty much like right under my daughter's bed. And so my daughter told me tonight, she's like, "Mom, you should just install a tube, so when you get too loud, I can just shout down the tube and tell you to shut up, so I can sleep."
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
I know. Like, you poor thing. I'm like, maybe sleep with your sound machine. She like got into this like...
Is that your oldest?
Yeah. I'm like, why are you not sleeping with your sound machine? She's like, because when I go to sleepovers, I want to be able to stay the night. And if I can't sleep...
That's smart. That makes sense.
Well, that is smart. She did have her first ever like full sleepover where she stayed the whole night the other night. And she came home pretty grumpy because one girl fell asleep. She needs to fall asleep to the TV.
Yeah.
And Lily was like,
I hate
in her head, like, can you turn that shit off?
I know. Yeah. I was that kid too. That was like, can you just shut the fuck up and have it pitch dark? Because that's what I need.
Yes, I need it pitch dark. And like, I didn't sleep with the sound machine growing up, but like my husband and his family slept with fans. And so I kind of married into that. And he was like, I ain't getting rid of my fan. And I was like, I'll deal with it. And now I can't sleep without any type of like sound. We have a sound machine, not a fan, because it gets too cold.
Yeah.
So I just have a sound machine. Love it. We even have a portable one that's battery powered so that we can take it when we go camping or travel.
You're so fancy. So fancy.
So fancy. All right. Well, I think we've procrastinated enough. Do we have any announcements before this episode? I don't think we have any announcements.
We have a lot of great merch with some awesome designs.
Sweet.
That's out. So please take a look at our Bonfire merch store. It's linked in our Instagram bio. Or you can go to bonfire.com and look up the shop called Deadly Drip.
Oh, Deadly Drip. Oh.
The drip don't stop. That's what I named it. Yeah.
Nice. Love
I don't think I ever told you that I named our store Deadly Drip.
No, you didn't.
Well, I had two options. I was thinking Deadly Faith Apparel or Deadly Drip. And I was like, come on. I like that. I think that's good. We interrupt today's episode to bring you a message from our sponsor, Javy. Say goodbye to chaotic mornings and hello to delicious, convenient coffee. With Javy's coffee concentrate in a variety of flavors, you can whip up your favorite brew in no time. Whether you prefer hot, iced, or even blended coffee, Javy's got you covered, okay? Just a teaspoon of this magic elixir is all you need for a flavorful kickstart to your day. Trust me, once you try it, you'll be hooked. From classic flavors like vanilla and caramel to decadent options like cookies and cream and caramel brulee, Javy literally has something for every coffee lover. As a mom with 3 kids, 2 dogs, 3 bunnies, and 25 chickens, I love how Javy helps me make a delicious iced coffee every morning in under 2 minutes. Seriously, guys, it's just so quick. You just pour it all together, stir it in, and enjoy. My favorite flavor right now is the caramel brulee, but I did just order the cookies and cream along with the decaf so I can enjoy an afternoon or evening coffee without jacking up my sleep schedule. They've got original and they've got even more other flavors to come. They've got mocha as well. You really don't want to miss this. So if you want to save some time each morning and even a little money, or if you just want to try a damn good cup of coffee, try Javy today. Don't wait. Click the link in the show notes and use code LACY33468 at checkout to enjoy 20% off your purchase. Again, click the link in the show notes and use code LACY33468 at checkout. And that is Lacey with an I. Enjoy that 20% off, guys, and back to the show.
I have trigger warnings.
Okie dokie. I'm not ready for this. I'm just kidding.
Controlling behavior, physical and mental abuse, murder, and kidnapping.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's all. I said that's all. Like that, not a big deal. That's all.
That's a lot.
So we are talking about Shafilea Ahmed.
Love the name.
I love that name too. It's so pretty. Shafilea.
I've never heard that name before. That's cool.
I am noticing a lot of our victims were born in July, and that freaks me out.
Oh, really? You're not a July person? Your
No,
birthday's
I'm not.
July.
But you are.
Yeah. No, I'm August.
Wait, never mind. No, I'm thinking Leos. I'm thinking just Leos in general.
Leos are most of July, but then like the first part
That's
of
right.
August. So that's why I fall into a Leo. That's okay. I'm out of that category.
Well, Shafilea Ahmed was born July 14th of 1986, a wonderful year of music, art, fashion. I love it.
Yes, the 80s.
Yes.
Classic. Iconic.
So she is from Warrington, Cheshire, UK. So we're not in the US.
Oh, okay.
At all. She lived in a community that was British/Pakistani community.
Okay.
I didn't know that there were communities that were like so specific, you know, with culture like that.
I guess it's very specific. Like here, there are like certain streets or community get together things that are like Hispanic in nature or Asian specific. So I can see that being the same, I would assume, over in the UK.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, Shafilea, she's bubbly, she's fun, sweet, beautiful, and super intelligent.
Aww.
Super intelligent. She was an A-level student in high school and had hopes of becoming a solicitor. Now, if you don't know what a solicitor is in the UK, so we're not in the US,
I was
different terminology.
Yeah, I was like,
I had to look it up, so don't feel bad. But a solicitor in the UK is a qualified legal professional who provides specialist legal advice on different areas of law and is responsible for representing and defending a client's legal interests. So pretty much an attorney.
Gotcha. Because I'm pretty sure everybody here in America, you hear solicitor and you're like, ooh.
And you think like door-to-door salesman or something.
Door-to-door salesman, or I was thinking like a woman of the night.
Sex work.
Thing. Yeah, sex work or something, you know.
Not that. She wanted to be in law, you know, an attorney. So, and the Ahmeds, her family, were a part of that close-knit community, the British Pakistani community. The family consisted of the dad, Iftikhar, mom, Farzana, Shafilea, who is the oldest, Alicia, I can't pronounce the brother's name, Junyad, I think is how you say it.
That's better than I would have done.
He doesn't come up in this story at all. But, and then last one is Mevish.
Okay. Big family.
She's got 2 sisters and a brother. And she's the oldest. Members of their community said that the parents had a reputation as very controlling.
Oh, no.
They wanted modest Muslim children, perfectly obedient in every way, especially their daughters.
Yeah.
So,
oh, no.
The family practiced Sunni Islam principles. Sunni is the largest branch of Islam, making up 80 to 90% of practicing Muslims in general. So if you meet someone that practices Islam, you most likely are going to meet a Sunni. So
Okay. So I'm assuming it's kind of like what we would see as like denominations within Christianity.
Yeah.
Okay. Just probably not as many as what Christianity has.
Yeah. Not it's you don't have as many branches off of it. So
gotcha.
A few rules that I learned about Sunni Islam with their beliefs on women specifically is that women must be covered completely except for the face and hands. So they wear the hijab, but not the one that covers everything but the eyes. They don't, they can show their face and hands. Everything else, hair, the rest of the body must be covered in the presence of family members, like, or close family members, your spouse. You can show more than that.
Be uncovered. Okay.
But otherwise, in public, you must be covered.
Gotcha.
Women must also always, always, always obey their husbands. No exceptions. Now, in general, the Quran states that no person is above the other. So female and male are the same, and they should have the same say in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little twisted, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know exactly how it got that way, but it seems like the stories that I would read about women that would reject their husbands' like request would often it like whether that's a request to do something or like sexual, whatever. If they denied them, it would cause an issue, or it would cause some type of like, you've disrespected our dynamic in some way.
Well, it kind of makes me think of like, even in the Bible, in Christianity, we have the verse like, submit to your husband, right? But then like right after that, it says, submit to your wife. And everyone doesn't want to talk about that. They just want to talk about like, submit to your husband kind of thing. Yeah.
But this is just, it's a large scope of ruling when it comes to Muslim women in general. He's the head of the house. So what he says
goes.
Is law sometimes, in some cases. I'm sure not all Muslim men are like this. So just in this family, it happened to be true. Her parents controlled what Shafilea saw, what she did, what she wore, what she listened to, everything.
Oh, gosh.
So she wanted to be a normal teenage girl, you know?
Yeah.
She ended up going out and getting a job for herself. And she wanted to be a normal teenager, so she would buy like normal clothes. When I say normal, I mean she would wear pants and 3/4 sleeve shirts. Like, oh my gosh. Nothing. She wasn't wearing like
mini skirts,
short skirts and like leather bra, you know, with tassels. I don't know. Like, she was wearing comfortable clothes, you know?
Yeah.
And she wanted to wear pretty things too, like jewelry, and she wanted to be outgoing and listen to certain music and see certain movies that her other friends got to.
She wanted to be a normal teenager.
Yeah. Parents didn't like this. This had been a problem. This had been an ongoing problem with her. So much that Shafilea had actually run away in 1998. So she ran away in 1998 and in 2002, 2 separate occasions, with the help of her friends and her own siblings.
Oh, wow. She really wanted to get out of there. How old was she? 1998. She would have been 12?
Yes. Yeah.
Damn.
86, 98. Yeah, she was 12.
Dang.
But she was found each time and returned home. So not like reported or anything. It was a quick in and out type deal. But another incident occurred later on. She stopped showing up for school, like soon after the 2002 incident. She stopped showing up for school, and her teachers noticed this. So she's still in high school at this point.
Oh.
Come to find out, Shafilea was being held hostage.
What?
By her own parents.
That's not legal.
Well, she was held hostage by her parents. They locked her in her room and they deprived her of food and water, touch, sound.
Oh my gosh.
So she was desperate to get out of this situation. Eventually, once that was found out, they let her back out and she got to go back to school and everything, kind of returned to normal, kind of.
Right. She's 16. Right?
And yeah, she's 16 at this point. Nothing had really transpired as far as law enforcement being involved.
Yeah.
We'll get into a little bit more about that later on because it has to do with her father's reputation.
I'm just wondering, like, how was like cops not involved with like knowing that she was being held captive by her own parents? Like, I'm sure we'll get into it, but that's where my mind's at right now.
I also have questions, but I kind of understand that this community that they were part of being so tight knit And so close-lipped.
Yeah.
And this will come up. You'll see a lot of the bystander effect happening.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately. But she was desperate to get away. And her friends and her guardians at school, like her teachers, they knew about the abuse that she was suffering. They would see cuts and bruises on her when she would come to school. Like
cuts?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, when she was 15, she applied for foster care and registered herself as a homeless person trying to get out of the house.
She applied for foster care?
Yeah, it was rejected. So unfortunately, she didn't get out that way. But that's how desperate she is to get out of this, you know?
Right. I'm sorry. You have somebody, okay, it's rejected. I'm assuming it's rejected because they like found out, oh, like you have a family.
She has a family with income and like, so yeah.
But this woman is trying to apply for foster care. Can we not look into why that is? Just saying.
I also am like, I don't understand how any of that works in the UK.
Right.
You know, on a grander scope.
Right. Because like, I don't think we apply for foster care here in America. I don't think that's a thing.
I have questions about that. I know that you can, what is that thing you can apply for when you're 16 to like, oh my God, it's a big word and it's leaving my brain right now. God.
What are you doing in it? Like you're applying for?
You're pretty much saying I am an adult now. Like even though I'm 16, I'm going to get a job, take care of myself.
I would have been
What
able
is
to
that called?
Yeah. Everybody is screaming into their phone right now. Like this is so the word. Emancipation.
Yes. Thank you. God.
Emancipation. It came to me finally.
I wonder if this was like along the same lines.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like not. Whatever. Let's fast forward to 2003. So she's 17.
Mm-hmm.
And the family, so it's February of 2003. The family goes on a trip to Pakistan.
Okay.
Suddenly.
The whole family.
Now, this was possibly, there were rumors by her friends that got around to teachers too, and other members of the community that this was about an arranged marriage for Shafilea.
Oh, no.
In order to keep her locked down because she's almost an adult, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, weird thing. Her parents and her siblings returned to the UK in March.
And you said they went?
So, they went in February.
February. Okay. So, the very next month.
It's not alarming that they were gone so long. Because when you're taking a trip far away.
Overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah. As honestly, an overseas trip, I've always said that it's not worth it unless you're going for a month. Actually, it is worth it. Okay, I take that back. But
like, if you just go for like a week or so, you miss out on a lot of things.
Because so much of your time is traveling there and back and preparation. It's just, yeah. A month gives you so much time to do what you need to do.
So it makes sense for them to have taken so long. So her parents, as well as her siblings, return. But she doesn't come home till May.
It's a long ass time.
So she comes home to the UK in May. While she was in Pakistan, Shafilea drank bleach, severely burning and scarring her esophagus so much that she required surgery to fix this. So this was a suicide attempt.
Oh my God. She was desperate to get out of this.
Yeah. I don't know what happened back in Pakistan. She's not here to tell us what was going on at the time. But we just know that. So her family was asked about this in an interview, and her dad explained that there was a power outage. She thought it was mouthwash, and she accidentally drank it. He claimed it was all an accident. But
I'm sorry, you don't accidentally drink bleach. That shit is potent. You can smell it from a mile away. You're not going to drink that.
You're saying she was using mouthwash. Mouthwash you don't swallow.
Yeah.
And if you swallow it, it would not be that much to cause scarring, you know?
For her to require surgery?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. So when she came home, her father saw how ill she was right as she got off the plane. He called 999 and she was taken to an urgent care to be treated. An urgent care ER, whatever.
Oh, so she drank bleach like on the way home to the UK.
No, she had drank it while she was there.
And
but
then
she was
surgery.
Really sick from it. So like she was experiencing all the after effects. She didn't.
Gotcha.
It was unsuccessful and she was sent home.
Okay. And she didn't have surgery till she got back to the UK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, now I'm following. Sorry.
Like I said, they claimed this was an accident. So she had gotten medical attention. She was being seen over time for all of her medical issues that came from this.
Yeah.
Because even post-surgery, she was going to need assistance.
So much.
We're skipping forward. September 3rd of 2003. She enrolls in Priestley College and begins part-time job at ManWeb Call Center. I don't know what type of call center this is, but she starts her part-time job. She's doing good. Everything's great. She's, taking her meds, doing her thing. She's healing nicely.
Okay.
And she's really excited about college.
I bet I would be too.
Go off, girl. And she was a great student in high school. Like, she's going to kill it here. So September 5th, she went back to the hospital for more treatment stuff on her throat.
Right.
And September 11th, she goes to her call center job. And after the call center, after she clocks out, she goes missing from her family home.
Okay.
But her parents do not report this.
What?
Weird.
Very weird. Math.
She's doing good. She's taking care of herself. She's not actively trying to commit suicide. She's not trying to hurt herself. Nothing like that. So
she's in like a recovery phase, you know?
And her coworkers said that she was happy at work. She was happy to be at work. She was, in general, very happy. At college, happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure to be out of that house, she was happy. But
seriously,
her younger siblings and her friends start asking questions and were concerned about her welfare. And word got around to her former high school teacher. Her name is Joanne Code.
Oh, I'm thinking we love Joanne Code.
We do love Joanne Code.
Okay. I had a feeling.
She's got a small piece in the story. She doesn't really come up again, but what she does is the catalyst for moving this forward in the direction it should go. So,
gotcha.
She finds out information that no one has seen Shafilea since September 11th after she clocked out of the call center. And so she reports her missing, especially after she figures out that her parents have done nothing.
Yeah.
So she reports Shafilea as missing, and detectives, they go meet with the family, and they're asking the family for help. And they were met with a strong no, we want nothing to do with this. They said, if there is any publicity brought upon our family, it will shame our family and our community. Do not speak to us about her or anything like this. Like, don't come around here. She's run away before. She's just another runaway. Whatever.
Oh my God. Okay, Joseph Fritzl. Sorry.
Yeah, say more. I know. So, but detectives said that the media immediately picked up interest in this.
Right.
For someone that was doing well again.
Yes. And for the parents to be like, no. If the parents would have actually showed a little bit of interest or something, it would have actually gotten less media attention.
Probably, yeah.
Then, in my opinion.
She's 17. She's a baby.
She is a baby.
She's a kid. She's just a kid.
She's just a kid.
I think they probably put her in an adult an adult role early on. Like, oldest siblings get that anyway. Unfortunately, that's a natural thing that sometimes will happen. And her going and getting a job and everything. By the way, all of her wages went to her parents.
Son of a bitch. Are you kidding me?
Or at least most of them. She kept some, but most of them went to her parents.
Oh, hell no.
I feel like she squandered some away because she bought her own clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Those clothes that they didn't approve of. So I think that she had not been fully truthful about all the money, because all of her money was supposed to go to them.
Yeah.
But
she said, nope.
We'll get to this later in the story too. So,
okay.
Helen Carter a journalist, said she disappeared into thin air. What could have happened to this girl who had just begun college and was well-liked?
Exactly.
Investigators knew about her throat injuries and suspected she's going to try to seek medical attention again. So let's say she has run away. Let's go with it. She's going to go to the pharmacy and get her refills. She's going to call her doctor, you know?
Yeah.
So they inform local hospitals and pharmacies and say, contact us if you see anything about Shafilea at all. One chemist called them and said, you know, at my pharmacy, I've got CCTV footage. I think that I've captured her on film. Come take a look. So they view the tape. They're unsure. They also have not seen a whole lot of Shafilea. Yeah, they've seen pictures, but they don't know. So they're like, let's bring the family in. Let's confirm this with them. So the family views the tape, the family meaning her parents, Farzana and Iftikhar. They view the tape and they're like, yep, that's her. Is that it?
Oh my God.
They're like, yep, what now? What do you need from us? Can we go? We got to go. Turns out it was not Shafilea at all. It was, I think it was a Turkish girl that was there for contraceptive.
Oh, not coming to get her prescription.
Yeah, no.
But why were they so eager to be like, it's her, moving on, red flag?
Yeah. And Joanne Code, again, Joanne Code had something to say here. She said she saw the tape and she said, that is not her at all.
Her own teacher knew.
Yeah. Who has seen her less than her own family has.
Right.
You know? She immediately was like, no, that's not her. That's not her at all. It's not her mannerisms, nothing, you know? They both have dark hair and that's the only thing that makes them look alike. So the entire Muslim community was silent about her disappearance. I mean, it was deafening, the silence that lurked over this community. But investigators had an ace up their sleeve. Ooh, they did. Ooh, so
they were ready.
They brought in a well-known actress. Now, I don't know of this person, okay?
Okay.
This person is also, you know, Muslim, and she is an actress, a well-known actress.
Okay.
Called Shobna Gulati.
Okay, spell her name.
Shobna. And then Gulati is Gulati.
Okay. I have to look her. I know who it is.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I don't know what I've seen her in, but
when I saw her, because I watched the press conference with her, I didn't recognize her. But I'm really happy that they brought her in on this because it did get much more attention drawn to her case.
Oh, wow.
So they had her at a press conference to read hidden poems that were written by Shafilea in the hopes of gaining more attention and maybe breaking the silence on the community or the family. Or if Shafilea was out there, hey, we found your secret poems and we're reading them to everyone. Please come home. Please, stop us, you know?
Oh,
so
gosh.
It was a very emotional reading. And I want us to link that so that you can see it.
Okay.
God, the poems are a clear indicator that she was not happy and she felt trapped and she felt like she couldn't be herself.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
There were so many expectations she had to hold up for herself that she didn't want that to be the standard, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't a standard that she approved of herself. So it's really sad, some of those poems. She also said something about never living up to the family honor that was placed on her head.
Oh,
that's heavy.
That's heavy. Mm-hmm.
One of Shafelea's sisters confided in a friend saying that there were times, we're about to talk about abuse, so if you need to leave, that's fine. Confided in a friend saying that there were times Shafilea would have to sit in the kitchen and be watched by all the family as she was beaten over and over by both of her parents. So like the kids would be forced to watch their oldest sibling be beaten mercilessly.
Oh my gosh, that's no words.
I know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So there was a lot of abuse, like physical abuse, not just emotional and spiritual, but physical abuse that was happening that kept her in fear. And she did mention a couple of things in her poems that kind of hinted to that.
Oh.
So,
my gosh, this breaks my heart.
Well, investigators were very suspicious about the family. They had heard like rumors, about abuse possibly happening. They had heard about like their stand in the community and their conservative views on things and just what they had heard from teachers, friends of the family, things like that.
Yeah.
So investigators bugged their house.
Yeah, they did.
They bugged their house, like just their phone line is what they bugged.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they spoke in very vague terms. So they were smart. They knew they were being watched because of their whole denial to help with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they would talk in very vague terms, and they would also tell their children, do not speak to anyone about anything at all, period.
Oh, God.
Like, do not. And the pair of them, so Farzana and Iftikhar, they were interviewed separately, and detectives tried to work them against each other, as you try to do with a couple.
Yeah.
But they were very unsuccessful.
Ugh.
They actually believe that Farzana may be a victim as well, which I don't think is too far off. But it doesn't excuse her in all of this. Doesn't excuse her.
You can be both.
Yeah. You can be a victim and an abuser all at once. Believe it or not.
Yep.
So they're obviously getting nowhere.
Poor guys. They're trying.
I know. They have a really hard time with this because there are two detectives that get really, really attached to this case.
Oh.
They see Shafilea slipping through the cracks and they feel helpless to it, but they're like, we're not giving up on this. We're not closing this. I'll die on this hill kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they do because they see that she's an important person and she matters,
Yeah.
Her story matters. So,
amen.
December 18th of 2003, her parents are arrested for allegedly perverting the course of justice, meaning they have evidence of controlling Shafilea, taking her away non-consensually, that hostage situation happening in 2002, as well as taking her overseas to Pakistan. But they are later released. Like 36 hours later, they're released without charge.
It was their way of just like bringing them in to interrogate them and have them under their watch.
And I think they wanted something on their record too. I think they just wanted something there. There was a lack of crucial evidence and unfortunately things fell silent. But not for long.
Oh, good. I'm like, oh, how long?
February of 2004. So just a couple months later.
Okay. That's not long at all.
A body is found.
Oh, no.
A body is found on the banks of the River Kent in Sedgwick, Cumbria, by 3 workmen after a flood. The body was badly decomposed and non-recognizable.
No.
River Kent is 70 miles outside of Warrington. So Warrington is where the family lives.
Okay.
But it caught investigators' attention regardless, based off of matching clothing description and ethnicity that was determined by a pathologist.
Oh, okay.
So, this was out of their jurisdiction, but they called down. They're like, hey, can we come take a look at this? Can we just make sure it's not our girl?
Yeah.
After viewing the body, they were like, we need Shafilia's parents to come here right now.
Oh my God.
And this is where it heats up. Okay. So this is where it fucking heats up. So the parents, the first time, took interest when they heard we found a body.
Okay.
So they've been like bored, uninterested, silent, don't give a fuck.
Sorry, my show's on. What were you saying? Kind of thing.
No, yeah. But they looked worried. And so detectives are like, oh, yeah. Why are you worried, boy?
We got you about.
Later, February 2004, the body is identified as that of Shafilea after DNA testing from bone matter that came back positive.
Oh,
so we have our answer. We have our closure that we have her body.
Okay. So they didn't make the parents like identify the body or try to identify the body, right?
No, there was no use. You couldn't tell.
I thought so. Because I was like, you said it was like majorly decomposed. And I was like, oh my God, did they make them?
Really, they just wanted, they were like, we got to contact the parents to let them know we found a body that has matching descriptors, you know?
Yeah.
So, because we want to know their reaction. And they did. So, the cause of death, though, was not from drowning. She was put in the water post-mortem.
Oh.
Medical examiners determined cause of death was most likely asphyxiation.
God damn it, it's always asphyxiation.
It's the least messy.
It is.
And it's often done by a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
One investigator commented it was so hard to look at her remains because it was such an indignant death. No honor. No honor at all. You know, he looked at this girl. He's like, this was a child.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even get to look like herself in death.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, gosh.
Well, this is no longer a missing persons case. This is a homicide investigation that is launched. And the parents still declined to help or speak to law enforcement.
Your child is dead.
I know. It's like, could you wrap yourself in a red flag any more than what you've already done? Like,
oh my gosh, it is screaming guilty. I'm sorry.
Thank you for paving the way forward to the solution of this whole thing. So
just put a fucking neon sign above your head that says, I know more. You know,
I did this.
I did it.
I'm with stupid. Anyway,
I am stupid.
Pretty much, yeah. So how did she end up so far from home? Because 70 miles, that's
a long ass way.
So there'd been a flood, which did push her a little bit.
Okay, that makes sense.
But it's also, I just want to notate that it is very common in cases where the murder victim knows the killer or is close with them for the murderer to take them very far away from kind of the home base, whether that's the murderer's home base, the victim's, or both.
Yeah.
So this is also pointing them in the direction of like, this is really far away from the family home.
Yeah.
The dots are connecting.
Why so far?
So the hunt was on. The media labeled her death as an honor killing, linking her desire to be Western with bringing shame on her family. I hate that they did that. Hate that they did that.
Yeah, I do too.
The definition of an honor killing, because it exists.
Yeah.
It exists. The definition is this: the behavior of a child that will shame or disrespect certain honored principles or beliefs of the family. It is considered of greater importance than the life of the child.
Dang.
But there is no honor in murder, abuse, torture. There is no honor in that.
No.
So it's simply called an honor killing because it's based off of family honors.
They're
not
honoring
an honorable killing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. We're moving forward a little bit. So we're in March. Yeah, we're in March of 2004. In the middle of a press conference, the Ahmeds appear. They don't speak to media. They don't speak to nobody. Okay.
Yeah.
They've been silent. They haven't said jack shit, but they are emotional. They're acting, they're like, dabbing their eyes like, like it's a whole,
my
God, such bad acting, whatever.
Now you're sad?
Oh yeah.
That's like a little too late.
So the detective that's like leading it, who's been in charge of this whole thing from the get-go, his name is Geraint Jones. That's his name.
Okay.
He's the one that's gotten really invested in this. And so he's like in shock that they've just stormed in with their lawyer and are screaming and like emotional. And so the whole, like all the media has turned their attention towards them and talking with them. So he like sneaks out the fucking back door. Cause he's like, I'm going to go fucking watch this from the police station down the road. So he goes over there and he just watches the like chaos ensue. Cause they keep recording, you know, it's all live. So their lawyer starts asserting that this is a racist press conference and it is ethnic stereotyping and he will not stand for this. It's very uncomfortable. It's awkward. It's dramatic. Just the whole get-go.
Yeah.
The whole Asian community is fully behind the family. They're like, yes, this is ethnic stereotyping. This is wrong. And the parents create their own press campaign acting as victims. They're not in it for Shafilea. They're like, us?
Oh my gosh.
So if the prime suspects weren't them, they are now.
They are now.
So,
yeah. Oh my gosh. That just.
Let me tell you just a touch about them also.
Okay.
So Iftikhar is a taxi driver and Farzana is a stay-at-home mom. He's a taxi driver and he had a reputation amongst his coworkers. He was not well liked. Not liked at all.
Oh no.
So that's by other drivers and other patrons. Like people just did not like being
bad
in
reviews.
his car. He had a temper. And one driver said he spoke to Iftikhar one time and was told by him, if I wanted to kill someone, I'd dump them in the Lake District where they would never be found. Guess who was found in the Lake District? His daughter.
Okay. I'm sorry.
If someone says that,
do you ever?
Come on, guys.
Have you ever had a conversation where you're like, if I were going to kill somebody, I would do X, Y, and Z? No, I've never done that.
As a standard thing, no. Even when I'm mad, I just don't. That's not my go-to.
No, even in like a hypothetical situation of like, through everything I have learned, the best way to kill somebody is to do X, Y, and Z, whatever, right? I've watched, I've listened to, I've researched a ton of true crime. There is not a great way, okay? You're always going to get caught. There are people that have been convicted of murder without a body, okay?
For sure.
So like, there's no good way. Like you could still easily get caught.
Karma is my boyfriend. Karma is a god.
Absolutely. And this guy just is like, I'd throw him in the Lake District.
Who says that to a coworker? Anyway, just how did that come up?
What lunch conversations? Jesus Christ. That took a right turn, dude. Shit. Right off a cliff.
So that's just a little bit about them. So occupations and everything. I don't know a lot about Farzana.
Okay.
I just know that she's always quiet and she like mimics him and is like nodding in approval with the things that he says. Because she doesn't really talk in interviews and stuff. So,
yeah.
April of 2004 is Shafelea's memorial service funeral, whatever you want to call it. And it was devastating to the whole Warrington community. They were at a standstill with evidence again. You know, they thought something would come out of that whole like campaign with the parents acting as victims.
Yeah.
But nothing came up. It felt like the Ahmeds were untouchable at this point. And the community had also not cracked. They had stuck even closer with them, especially after the whole like, you're being racist and you're stereotyping and all that stuff. So like they had even more support than ever. So,
and when you said earlier, like that made you mad that the media did that, like this is the part where it pisses me off that the media does that and like labels it an honor killing because it pushes it into a stereotypical, you know, like it puts that stereotype on it.
It's not neutral anymore. It's not ethical anymore.
Yeah. It's not. And so now it gave them the footing to be able to do this when all the police were doing, in my opinion, from what you've said, is following
That's
the
exactly
evidence.
What's happening.
Following the clearest path that was leading them to the culprit. And now that the media has come in and muddied the water, which how many times have they done that? Countless.
Well, Gerant Jones was not giving up though. Still, he's encouraged to look even deeper into Shafelea's life for answers. He's like, if I can't find it in her death, I'll find it in her life.
Okay.
And that he did.
Wow. Good thought process.
So January 11th of 2008, we're skipping 4 years.
Oh, I hate that.
But he didn't give up, okay?
That I know. That's insane. Wow.
So we're still not done with the timeline too, because it goes on a little bit longer. So,
okay.
But he puts in a 4-day inquest into her death saying like, hey, we're still doing this. Like, I'm going full send with this.
Mm-hmm.
But this whole 4-day inquest concludes with a verdict that this is an unlawful killing and it needs to be pursued. So
thank you.
They're like, yeah, go for it. So the parents were against this. They tried to appeal the inquest, but they were denied by the court. They're like, nah, man, I think he's onto something and y'all are being shady as fuck. So their wall of silence stood firm still. But Detective Jones was like, I think you killed her in the family home. So he's starting to look into that. He's starting to look into their home a bit more. We're going to go quiet for a minute because he's slowly building his evidence, you know. He's slowly working towards this. 2 years later, August 25th of 2010, a robbery occurs at the Ahmed's home. She said, what?
Oh my
gosh. Take a whole different turn.
Okay. What?
So Alicia, the second oldest sister, she had come home from university and one evening at the house, everyone's home, all the family's home. She opens the door, allowing 3 masked people to come into the home. They're each of them are carrying a hammer, a crowbar, and a pistol. They tie up the family, all with cable ties, except for Alicia. And Alicia takes them upstairs to show them money, jewelry, whatever. After the robbery, the parents report it. And they also report Alicia, saying that she possibly made this happen. So,
oh my gosh, inside job.
They weren't wrong.
I had a feeling.
Alicia is a smart girl. She's very smart with how maybe with not the way exactly, but she got what she wanted and what she needed out of this. So Alicia is arrested on suspicion of robbery, and her claim is that she was just taking back money that was owed to her. But aside from that, she's like, get me to Detective Jones. Don't let me go home. Like, don't let me go anywhere without speaking to him. So he's on holiday at this time.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, but he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm there. Forget it. Like, I'm there.
Oh, I thought you meant like holiday, like out of the country.
No, he was.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I'm coming home. He comes home.
I'm coming home. I'm getting on a plane.
He's like, I'm here. Let's talk about this, whatever. So he gets in a room with her and she starts saying, I need to tell you about Shafelea's murder. And she said, I'm scared for my younger siblings in the house. I'm scared for myself and them. And I need to talk to you. August 31st of 2010, Alicia Ahmed provides a witness statement implicating her parents in Shafelea's death. She told Jones that her parents had suffocated Shafilea using a plastic bag and killed her in front of all of the siblings.
Oh my gosh. What makes you think you can get away with that? Like, you've literally murdered somebody in front of your children. No.
They had such control, though, over the other siblings. Because, like, Shafilea was the oldest and the most rebellious at the time, you know?
Yeah.
So if anyone was going to stand up to their parents and make them feel safe, it was her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like, you're not going to be able to carry this to your grave. Like, your kids are going to get older and it's going to weigh on them. And they're going to, as they mature, they're going to end up spilling their guts.
Well, and some of them didn't even have to mature to talk about it. So real quick, September 2nd, 2011. So a year later, the couple are arrested. So Farzana and Iftikhar are arrested on suspicion of murder and bailed pending further inquiries. September 7th, they answer bail and are charged with murder.
What does that mean? I'm confused. Answered bail?
They made bail, but then they were charged with murder.
Okay. So they were arrested, made bail, then charged. Okay.
On the 15th.
I have to remind myself this is in the UK, not in the USA.
Yeah, I know. Some of the terminology is odd. September 15th, they are released on bail by Manchester Crown Court. So they've posted bail before. Now they're released. They're still charged. They're being charged with murder, though. So 2012, May of 2012, we're skipping months ahead.
Wow.
The murder trial begins at Chester Crown Court. Disturbing details come forward. Alicia is on the stand and she describes Farzana picking up Shafilea from the call center on September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
She said that Farzana was angry when she saw Shafilia's outfit. She was wearing a top with 3/4-inch sleeves and pants.
Oh my God.
She said that Farzana took Shafilea home, showed her father, said, look what she's wearing. Look at this, And they beat her, both of them. Farzana held her down while Iftikhar beat her even more. And then they put a plastic bag in her mouth.
Oh my God.
So they put it in her mouth and they held both of their hands over her nose and mouth. And she said, I remember my mother saying, just finish it already. And September 11th, Shafilea lost her life to her own parents.
Oh my God.
Now, this is just Alicia's testimony. She could be making this up.
Yeah.
They don't have enough corroborating evidence on this.
Right.
So they have a family friend named Shaheen. So Shaheen is besties with the youngest girl, Mavesh. Sorry.
Okay.
Mavesh. Yeah, that's her name. They had their besties all through their life and ever since they met at the mosque. And they had written back and forth with each other. And at a certain point, she told Shaheen what happened.
Oh my gosh.
In letters. She was like, I need to tell you something, but I need to tell you about Shafilea, but I can't say it. I literally cannot bring myself to say it. And she was like, well, just write it down, And so they were writing back and forth. This is corroborating evidence in the court about the abuse and the religious control and about what happened with the murder. Shaheen had originally been fearful to take it to police to help because she was like, I'm going to lose my best friend, possibly jeopardize the rest of the family. I don't know. She was just put in a really weird situation with it because she wanted to help.
And if this doesn't go anywhere, but it comes back to the family, could I put this child in danger?
She could put her own self in danger too. Could I put my best friend her? So there was a lot riding on this.
That's scary.
And she was in her teens when this happened. She's very young. So
that's a lot of weight to be put on somebody's shoulders at such a young age.
For sure. But ultimately she decided, in order to protect my best friend, I have to do this. I have to bring forward what I know. So she did present her writings to Detective Jones, and it talked about details like not being allowed to talk about Shafilea, watching her sister be hurt and killed, talking about being hurt for herself. And Mavish also wrote that she watched her parents shove Shafilia's body into a suitcase to take her away, which is so fucking traumatic.
Oh my gosh.
It's a whole thing. Watching a murder, I'm sure. And then after that, watching them just completely disrespect the body and treat her like trash. Literally like trash.
And it's so cruel to make your children watch you abuse another child. The murder control is a whole nother step forward. But yeah, it is so sadistic.
It's a whole new level of just wrong. Horrible, disturbing, so disturbing.
It literally makes my stomach hurt.
I hate that those kids had to watch that. I hate that any of them, I hate that Shafilea had to go through this and she never got her final freedom, She was so close. She could almost touch it.
She wanted it so bad too.
She was willing to die for it at a certain point. So, July 9th of 2012, Farzana Ahmed changes her witness statement, sacks her defense solicitors, and implicates her husband in a single attack on her daughter. She says she tried to intervene, but was punched. This didn't hold up. The jury saw through the lie.
I was about to say,
she was fully involved with it. So she was just as much to blame.
Your daughter already.
Both of your daughters said that you did this.
Admitted that you had said, just finish it already.
She was the one that spoke. Yeah, that was the thing. He didn't say anything the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, August of 2012, the couple are found guilty of murder, sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Shafilea. Minimum served would be 25 years. Mavesh still claims, so Mavesh is the youngest.
Okay.
Her friendship with Shaheen doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. So that was the consequence of Shaheen bringing forth those letters. But it helped corroborate and bring justice to Shafilea. So she doesn't regret that. But Mavesh actually claims now that it was all a lie. And she visits her parents and she says that they're innocent. She still talks to them. Alicia does not.
Oh my God.
Oh, and Mavesh still lives in the house where Shafilea was murdered.
Wow.
Just
that's some
goes
control.
to show you about parental and religious control being such a horrible.
Which is like, okay, we have done this so many times, me and you, because my next case that I'm covering is parental control.
It starts at home, kids. It starts at home.
It does. It does. And it's like, this one's bad. Okay. But we're going to be going into like it's going to get real bad in my case.
I hate it.
I'm so sorry.
But
I'm so sorry.
Shafilea, if you're out there, love you. So much honor and respect on your name, on your life. I know that you get to wear the clothes that you want in a different life. You get to listen to the music that you enjoy. Because come on, the 80s and 90s, come on. She was living in it.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Classic.
So I know that she is enjoying herself wherever she is at. Fuck you, Iftikhar and Farzana. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yes. Amen. And disclaimer, and I know we don't do this disclaimer every single time. We haven't done one in a while, but with all of the cases that we cover, it is not a description or a depiction of all religious affiliations with that specific religion. It does not mean that every congregation or church or practicing, person within that religion,
they're not violent
in the same way. Okay?
People that practice Islam that identify as Muslim, they are not, as a blanket statement, violent people, just as Christians are not good people. It's just,
or bad people.
Yeah.
It's all, there can be all in the mix. Okay. There's great Christian congregations and there's ones that it's a cult.
Yeah.
And you need some help. Okay. And that's across the entire board. So please remember that when you listen to these cases.
For sure.
All right.
Thank you for bringing that up. Well, that's our case. Very dishonorable. Very dishonorable.
Very, very dishonorable. That is not an honor killing.
Not at all.
That is, I don't like that name. I don't like that name. An honor killing. It's not.
Well,
there's no honor.
There's
in
a documentary
called
The Honor Killing that is about this whole story.
Oh, is there?
And Shaheen talks on it. Detective Durant Jones is on it. He tells the whole story from the get-go.
Oh, wow.
Helen Carter is on there. That journalist, she speaks.
Is Joan on there?
No, Joanne Code, she's not.
Joanne?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You get to see the CCTV footage of that girl. They've blurred her face, but like you can see her going around the pharmacy. You get to see some of the interactions with the Ahmed parents, but not like full interviews with them. So,
gotcha. Man, that's crazy. We'll link that below, and we'll also link that video of
the actress
reading the poetry from her. So we'll link those below. But let's take a hard right turn and go into some palate cleansers because
we need
that
it.
That one frustrated me. The parents, it's just like, are you kidding me now?
Very frustrating.
I just can't. I can't with you. Anyways, I'm going to go first with mine. I have a funny little story for you guys because I think it always makes me laugh. So the other night, this is like a handful of nights ago. For if you don't know, my last name is Bean, like a coffee bean. So Bean. And my daughter goes, my middle child, she goes, Mom, is everybody's last name Bean?
What?
And I said, no. Not everybody's last name's Bean. And it kind of caught me off guard because I was like, you know that? Like, you're going into second grade. You know people have different last names. And so she looks at me in all seriousness and goes, then why is everybody called human beings?
Oh my God. That is unreal.
I know. I cracked up laughing. I was
you can't write that shit.
That is the best thing ever. I know. You can't. It cracked me up. I was like, I love you.
All right. I got one. So,
okay.
June 5th of 2024 makes 171 years since the release of a abolitionist periodical book was written and published, anti-slavery, Uncle Tom's Cabin. I said that all sorts of jumbled up, but yeah. Uncle Tom's Cabin was published 171 years ago as of June 5th, 2024. That's such a long time.
Wow. So 1824?
Or
wait, no. That would have been 200 years. And you said it was 100. So 1854. Right?
Yes.
175 years? That's crazy.
You're right. Yeah.
That's a long time.
1851.
Long time. Okay. So.
Whatever. It was the best-selling book of the 19th century following the Bible. I had no idea.
Okay.
Awesome.
I need to add it to my list of reading because I'm sure it's out there. I hope it's on Audible.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
I would hope so.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
The more you know.
That's funny. Talking about old, another story for you guys real quick before we leave. My other child, we were sitting there eating dinner. It was just me and my husband and her. The other two were at a sleepover. And it was my husband's birthday. And she was like, she said something to him about him being old. And he goes, well, if I'm old, what does that make Nana and Papa? And she goes, oof, really, 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 really old.
Oh my God.
And we just died laughing because like for a second we didn't think the reallys were gonna stop. She kept going.
I mean, I didn't think they'd stop just then.
And she's 4, guys. Like she's about to turn 5. But I was like, girl, you are too funny.
All of your children are a completely different breed of human.
They really are.
Great.
They are sweet and they are spicy as fuck.
Spicy.
Yeah. Spicy.
There's some lime juice. It's so spicy.
They have times when they're just like, I mean, fucking gremlins.
Yeah.
And then you have moments where like my youngest woke up last night and came crawling into bed with us and she's like, I love you. And then like gives us these cute little cuddles that it's like the cuddles you dream of before you become a parent. You're like, oh, this is the life.
Stop it, my ovaries.
I know.
My fucking ovaries.
I know. Anyways, well, that was the case, guys. Buckle up because next week's going to be worse.
Thanks.
Sorry, not sorry. I had to read a 10-hour book, 8 to 10-hour book for this one. Super interesting, but it's okay. I'm only doing one part because there's a whole lot of extra information that I just don't want to get into. And
we can only do so many 2-parters in a year.
Well, and it's only one. It's a case that like you really don't want to spend that much time on.
It's so bad that you're
once you know the information,
no
you're
more.
like, all right, moving the fuck on. Can we?
Okay.
Please?
Okay.
It's pretty intense.
It's fine.
Anyways, yeah, that's the case. Love you guys. Hope you come back for another episode.
And with that, stay safe, stay skeptical,
and steer clear of the cultish carousel. We will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Hey, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, please make sure to rate, subscribe, do all the fun things. We are so close to monetization on our YouTube. Burr, 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 burr. I know that was supposed to sound like a horn, but it only sounds like Blue's Clues, okay? I'm sorry. I'm trying. Also, if you'd like to support the show further, go over to our Patreon. It's $5 a month, and you get full access to our exclusive podcast called The Potty Podcast, where Lola and I shoot the shit and just talk about all things comical, all things fun, all things serious, all things spooky. Literally, we will shoot the shit on anything, and it's fun. So good on over there, $5 a month. As always, it's linked below in the show notes. We also have a bonfire. Not a bonfire. We have a bonfire where we have merch and apparel that will also be linked below in the show notes. Show your support for the show. Deadly Faith Podcast is brought to you by Quircast Network. It is produced by Lacey Bean and Lola Robbins and audio engineered by Eric Howell. Thanks for listening.